Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Trinidad and Tobago is leading the way in the Caribbean after making the National Sex Offenders Registry public and easily available on the World Wide Web. Meanwhile, Raise Your Voice President Catherine Seelings has asked, what's the holdup with St. Lucia's promised registry? Seelings said she has been following the developments of the Trinidad Sex Offenders Registry for some time now. However, she said she has also noticed a deafening silence from government officials on the matter in St. Lucia.
And it's surprising that nothing is being said about St. Lucia, seeing that Norbert Williams is in a very critical position and he has the ears of the Prime Minister. He has a talk show, because I think the lawyer that was promoting the Sex Offenders Registry was actually working with the organization. Norbert came down here to promote the Sex Offenders Registry in 2016. So while Trinidad has moved forward as usual, we have moved 10 steps backward.
Seelings said whilst the initiative is seemingly being ignored in St. Lucia, the crimes that would place one on a sex offenders registry continue to destroy the lives of the innocent.
While all of us here behaving as if rape is and sexual abuse of children is not happening, sexual abuse of children is at its highest. Children at 2 years, children at 7 years, children at 6 months getting sexually abused, and we're there pretending as if it's not happening. St. Lucia needs a sex offenders registry, and they need it like now, like yesterday. Sexual abuse of children, people go to court, sometimes they go to jail for a little while and they're back at it. And this problem is a serious problem. And while the Department of Human Services is not raising the alarm, and the Family Court not raising the alarm, and the Ministry of Social Justice is not raising the alarm, does not mean that it's not a reality. St. Lucia need to follow the footsteps of Trinidad and Tobago, and Norbert Williams need to pick up his responsibility, because he was the one who floated the idea initially. I want him to pick it up and carry it. He's in a critical position. He has the ears of the Prime Minister, he has the ears of the Cabinet. Tell him do something worthwhile for a change.
The outspoken activist said she believes the registry will bring major changes to St. Lucia.
A sex offenders registry will do two things. First of all, before you go on sexually abuse people, children and women, you will remember that your name will be made public, your face will be made public, your address will be made public, so you will think twice. So it might work as a deterrent. The other thing is sex offenders will not be able to reoffend easily, because everybody know who they are and everybody will be watching and paying attention to them.
The Raise Your Voice president said while she will continue to advocate for the initiative to commence in St. Lucia, she does not have faith that it will come to fruition. A taxi operator is sharing his concerns over the high possibility that coronavirus may reach St. Lucian shores. He says if that happens, taxi and tour operators will be the first set of people to be at risk.
One member of society standing directly in the line of fire where the coronavirus is concerned is voicing his concern for not only his safety, but for the safety of the citizenry should the virus make it to St. Lucian shores. Vincent Frederick is a taxi operator and explained that the main part of his daily duty is to meet and transport tourists coming into the island on vacation. With the coronavirus rapidly making its way across borders, Frederick said he believes it is only a matter of time before he is exposed to it.
When the visitors leave customs, being checked at customs, we the taxi drivers are the first set of people that they are meeting. And most time we spend a lot of time with them. And when they leave us or we drop them off, we have to go back to the member of the public. We have to go to our homes. You understand? I am not saying that I am underestimating the authorities. What they say, that is what we have to repeat. But I don't believe this is something that will be easily controlled. A little flu, you alone have a flu. By the time you reach your home, next morning, your daughter or your son already sneezing because they already catch a virus from you. So I don't believe that virus is easily to be controlled.
Frederick notes that the powers that be are trying their best to keep the virus at bay. However, he said he is still going to take the extra precautions to protect himself and his family.
I wash my hands and my face a lot during the course of the day. I'm being very careful as to what I touch and so on. But my main concern about that thing is my two grandchildren. I have two grandchildren, a 4 and a year plus. You know, and if that thing reaches them, I don't know how I'm going to feel. But personally, I don't believe that they can control it. the way that it should be controlled. Because look at our borders. You understand? We have the airport, the seaports, people coming in from Martinique, you know, on the express, and so you could never tell who can travel with that.
He urges fellow taxi operators to be vigilant in their day-to-day operations.
You have to try your best to, you know, protect yourself. Because by protecting yourself, you protect your family. Always get the, how do you call it, not Limacol, but Limacol Silver, hand sanitizer. I have about 3 of them in my vehicle there right now. So if you, as a passenger, come in my vehicle, I'm telling you, well, you know, this is the case and so on, so I always give you a little that you can, you know, sterilize your hands and so on. And what I'm saying again, we have the rubbing alcohol. You can, you know, always pass it on your hand and your face and so on as the day goes, you know, to try and protect yourself until they can get the vaccine that will really help out people in case they get it.
Frederick said with St. Lucia being mainly dependent on tourism, he would not be surprised if the virus is already here, but is being covered up. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. The death of a Chinese doctor who tried to warn about the coronavirus outbreak has sparked widespread public anger and grief in China. Li Wenliang died after contracting the virus while treating patients in Wuhan. Last December, he sent a message to fellow medics warning of a virus he thought looked like SARS, another deadly coronavirus. He was told by police to stop making false comments and was investigated for spreading rumors. His father told the BBC, quote, "I don't think he was rumor-mongering. Hasn't this turned into reality?" The virus causes severe acute respiratory infection, and symptoms usually start with a fever, followed by a dry cough. Most of those killed have been over the age of 60 or have suffered from other medical conditions. Dr. Li's medical history is said to be unknown. Now, 41 people on a cruise ship off the coast of Japan have tested positive for the new coronavirus, bringing the total number of cases on board to 61. Some 3,700 people are on board the Diamond Princess, which is quarantined in Yokohama for at least 2 weeks. The checks began after an 80-year-old Hong Kong man who had been on the ship last month fell ill with the virus. He boarded the luxury cruise liner in Yokohama on the 20th of January and disembarked in Hong Kong on the 25th. A separate cruise ship, the World Dream, has been quarantined in Hong Kong after 8 former passengers caught the virus. It has around 3,600 people on board, but none have tested positive so far. Another ship, the Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas, has docked in the city of Bayonne in the U.S. state of New Jersey. Footage on U.S. media showed medical professionals taking some passengers off the ship on stretchers. The city mayor said in a statement that about 24 passengers were screened on Friday and that 4 were taken to a hospital for further tests. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention considered it a below low-risk situation, and all other passengers were released with no action needed. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.